ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಯಾಕೆ? Hello. Good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
How are you all?
Good morning, sir.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Screen. Any problem? Connectivity screen is visible?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We'll start. We'll start now. Today also some important three structures are there related to the thorax. We'll start one by one. Okay. As you know, already we have studied some important parts of the thorax. So today we'll discuss three more structures. They are very important functionally, clinical anatomy, and their extent and all as per their function. Okay. As you know, esophagus. Esophagus, it is one of the beginning part of the gastrointestinal tract, GIT. Okay. So it starts, extension is thorax also. So that's why we have to discuss about the esophagus in thoracic region also. Okay. So esophagus, what is esophagus here? See, it is a nothing but it is a tubular structure. It is a tubular structure, also called as a windpipe. Windpipe. It is measure about 25 centimeter long. 25 centimeter long. It begins at the as the continuation of the pharynx. You know, oropharynx, nasopharynx, pharynx. So it begins as the continuation of the pharynx. At the level of the vertebral level is C6, sixth cervical vertebra. Sixth cervical vertebra. Then it runs downwards towards the abdomen. So it pierces the diaphragm. Yesterday we discussed diaphragm. Some openings are there. Diaphragm, aortic opening, esophageal opening, and all. So this esophagus pierces the diaphragm at the level of T10, 10th thoracic vertebra, to join stomach. What is stomach? Stomach also one of the part of the GIT, most distended part of the GIT. So this esophagus join the stomach after piercing the diaphragmatic opening at the level of T10. So it is extent. So what is the esophagus? Esophagus is nothing but tubular structure about 20 centimeter long. Okay. Now it commences in the midline. The extent is midline. Then it descends through the neck. It inclines to the slightly on left side. Now, what are the relations of the esophagus? Where the exact location of the esophagus and what are the structures surrounding esophagus? What are the structure comes? As you know, the location, it is from pharynx to the stomach generally. From the pharynx, lower part of the pharynx to the stomach. So whatever the extent is there, surrounding some structures are there which are related to the relations of the esophagus. We'll see one by one. One by one. Now, anteriorly, what are the structure present to the esophagus? You know, the diagram is showing. See the esophagus here. Anteriorly, trachea, bifurcation of the trachea also there. Then left principal bronchus, left recurrent laryngeal nerve, right pulmonary artery, anterior esophageal plexus, pericardium, left atrium, and diaphragm. These are the structures present situated anterior to the esophagus. Once again, I will repeat. Just imagine where the exact location of the esophagus. So anteriorly is trachea. Next is bifurcation of the trachea. Left principal bronchus. Hello? Any disturbance? Any problem?
Is it walkable? If it is walkable, if you're going there, then I'll join you. I know it's far away. We'll go to Tolankere only. Okay, I'll join you.
So anterior relations are trachea, bifurcation of the trachea, left principal bronchus, right pulmonary artery, anterior esophageal plexus, pericardium, left atrium, and diaphragm. These are the structures related to the esophagus anteriorly. Now posteriorly. See this diagram, posterior to the esophagus. What are the main structures here? You can see here. Yes, important one again here. Esophageal plexus, that is posterior esophageal plexus. Then thoracic part, aorta, that is thoracic aorta. Yesterday we discussed thoracic duct, posterior relation to the esophagus. Then next one is azygos vein, then hemiazygos vein, accessory hemiazygos vein, right posterior intercostal veins. So these are the structures present posterior to the esophagus. Posterior to the esophagus. You know what is the extent of the esophagus now? From lower part of the pharynx to the, yes, stomach, to join stomach through the esophageal opening of the diaphragm. So in between, whatever the space is there, thoracic part. So these are the structures present anteriorly and posteriorly. Anteriorly and posteriorly. Some structures on either side of the esophagus. What are they? They are nothing but on each side lobe of the thyroid gland and carotid sheath. Carotid sheath. Yes, any problem? I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anteriorly, you know already, trachea, some nerves and all. Posteriorly, vertebral column, deep cervical fascia. Laterally, important here on either side, lobe of the thyroid gland and carotid sheath. Now, the esophagus is gives some divisions, anatomical divisions. You know the already extent of the esophagus. So, as per their location, it gives some divisions. For example, neck region we called as a cervical region. Then proper thoracic region. Then some part of the abdomen where it joins stomach, upper end of the stomach. That is cardiac end of the stomach. Now, what are the divisions of the esophagus as per their location or region? See, cervical division, thoracic division, and abdominal division. Now, cervical means related to the almost neck, where it begins at the lower end of the pharynx. The vertebral level is C6. Then one more important landmark is lower border of the cricoid cartilage. Okay. It is around 18 centimeter. Okay. Now come to the next part, proper thorax. That is thoracic division. Where from the thoracic inlet to the level of the tracheal bifurcation. Again, we have to discuss about sternal angle, T4 level, where it is one of the event of the sternal angle is, yes, bifurcation of the trachea. Then at the mid part of the thoracic region, there again tracheal bifurcation between the gastroesophageal junction. Gastroesophageal junction. Now abdominal part, that is lower part of the thoracic esophagus, it is around 30 to 40 centimeter, and lastly join the cardiac end of the stomach. Cardiac end of the stomach. Cardiac end of the stomach. Continuation as a again proper stomach. So these are the brief divisions as per their location: cervical, thoracic, and abdominal anatomical divisions. Okay. This diagram you can see here. See the extent here. Extent. This is the cardiac end where it joins stomach. Okay. This is the thoracic part. This is the cervical part. This is the thoracic proper part. This is the abdominal part. So these are the three different anatomical divisions. Three different anatomical divisions of the esophagus. Okay. So individual part having their own relations. Briefly I will tell. Cervical part, okay. Posteriorly again same, vertebral column, laterally lobes of the thyroid gland, and anteriorly trachea and recurrent laryngeal nerve. After the cervical part, next is proper thoracic part. Thoracic part, the esophagus related to the downward, and that is through the posterior mediastinum. So at the level of this external angle, aortic arch. Then proper thoracic part, some structures which are related anteriorly. Again same continuation: trachea, left recurrent laryngeal nerve, left principal bronchus, some part of the pericardium, and left atrium. These are the anterior relations of the esophagus related to the thoracic part. Important one is trachea, left recurrent laryngeal nerve, left principal bronchus, and part of the pericardium and left atrium. Okay. Thoracic part, what are the relations? Posterior relations. Here also some thoracic vertebra, thoracic duct, azygos vein, right posterior intercostal arteries, and descending thoracic aorta. These are the structures which are related posterior to the esophagus at the thoracic level, thoracic part. So as it is called as a windpipe, it is like pipe. So there will be a two end, upper end, lower end. From where it extends esophagus, it is a upper end. Where it ends and join the upper part or cardiac end of the stomach, that is lower end. So which one is the importance? Again, upper end is here. It is called as a upper esophageal sphincter. Upper esophageal sphincter. So when it begins esophagus, it separates the pharynx from the esophagus. Upper esophageal sphincter separates the pharynx from the esophagus. It is around 3 centimeter in length. 3 centimeter in length. Okay. So what are the contents? How it forms? By the skeletal muscle groups. They are nothing but inferior constrictor, cricopharyngeus, proximal esophagus. Okay. Now, what is the importance? What is its function of the upper esophageal sphincter is? It is the upper cricopharyngeal or upper esophageal sphincter prevents air. This is very, very important point. Prevents air passing into the esophagus during inspiration and the aspiration of esophageal contents. Whatever the food particles, content of the esophagus is there, it prevents to enter into the during the inspiration and aspiration of the whatever the content of the esophagus. This is an important function of the upper esophageal sphincter. Now come to the one more sphincter, at the lower end of the esophagus. Okay, it is also around 3 centimeter in length. You can see the diagram clearly. On either side muscles are there. So what are the external muscles here? Lower esophageal sphincter. Yes, skeletal muscles of the crural diaphragm. Then internally smooth muscles of the distal esophagus. Distal esophagus. Okay. So what is the function of the lower esophageal here? So it is cardiac or lower esophageal sphincter. Prevents the, yes, this is very important. It prevents the reflux of acid gastric contents into the esophagus. Into the esophagus. As you know, the footballers, food is coming from the mouth through the esophagus, entering into the stomach for further digestion. So this lower esophageal sphincter prevents the reflux, reverse going of the food content and acid secretion to the esophagus. Okay, this is very important function related to the lower esophageal sphincter. Lower esophageal sphincter. As per the applied aspect is concerned, one more condition is there, reflux esophagitis. Reflux esophagitis, where there will be a disturbance in the lower esophageal sphincter. Yes. Now, you know the introduction, extent, relation and important part of the esophagus. Now, what is the blood supply to the esophagus? Okay. Blood supply from the cervical part is concerned from the inferior thyroid arteries. Inferior thyroid arteries. Okay. Then thoracic part, esophageal branch of the thoracic aorta. Esophageal branches of thoracic aorta. Then, as you know, lastly it is attached to the or goes to stomach. So abdominal part of the esophagus by the left gastric artery. Left gastric artery. Okay. Important it is cervical, thoracic and abdominal as per the region, inferior thyroid arteries, esophageal branch of the thoracic aorta and left gastric artery. Now what is venous? Venous supply. Here also part wise, cervical part brachiocephalic vein, brachiocephalic vein, and thoracic part is azygos vein, azygos vein. Then again abdominal left gastric vein, left gastric vein. Okay. Then come to the lymphatic drainage. Okay, lymphatic drainage. So the lymphatic drainage again here regional lymph nodes, mainly para-esophageal lymph nodes. Para-esophageal lymph nodes. So the upper third of the drain into the deep cervical nodes. Middle part is superior and inferior mediastinal nodes. Then lower 1/3 is celiac nodes. Celiac nodes. Okay. Upper 1/3 deep cervical nodes. Lymph nodes. Then middle part is superior inferior mediastinal nodes. And the lower is celiac nodes. Celiac nodes. Okay. Now this is last slide of esophagus. I told some constrictions is there with some different levels. That is again directly relation with the applied aspect of the esophagus. So the esophagus has around 4 anatomic constrictions. You know constrictions? Constriction, narrowing of that particular part, constrictions. So the first constriction at the junction with the pharynx. The first constriction is with the pharynx. That is called as a pharyngeo-esophageal junction. Pharyngeo-esophageal junction. Then the second one is crossing aortic arch. Crossing aortic arch and left main bronchus. Left main bronchus. Third one again crosses left bronchus. Fourth one is again with the related to the stomach. Related to the stomach. Okay. So this is brief about the esophagus. You have to remember here one thing is introduction part, then relations relations of the respective region, cervical, thoracic and abdomen, then these four constrictions, blood supply, venous. As per the applied aspect is concerned, I told reflux esophagitis, eclasocardia, okay, where there will be a disturbance, failure in the constriction of the lower sphincter. So the common is reflux esophagitis. These are the conditions related to the applied anatomy of the esophagus. Okay. Now we'll go to the next topic, next structure, which is very, very important related to the thorax. Okay. Aorta. You know, all of you, aorta. Okay. What are the different vessels? Artery, veins, capillaries. So aorta come under, yes. Now parts of the aorta, as you know, it is like arch. So ascending, arch and descending. Again here sternal angle important. Events, it is one of the event occur at the level of the sternal angle. Beginning of the ascending, crossing arch of aorta, ending of the descending aorta. So these are the events. So what is the introduction? Now come to the arch of aorta. It is a continuation of the ascending aorta at the sternal angle. Okay, begins and terminates at the sternal angle. That is angle of Lewis, T4 level. Don't forget, it's very important. Arch of aorta, continuation of the ascending aorta at the level of the sternal angle. It begins and terminates at the level of sternal angle. Okay, then connects ascending and descending aorta. Arch of aorta connects ascending and descending aorta. Okay, so the arch of aorta overs the root of the lung. Which lung? Left lung. Root of the left lung. Okay, then situated in the superior mediastinum. Superior mediastinum, behind the manibrum. Okay, sternum, manibrum, upper part of the sternum, that is manibrum. So situated in superior mediastinum and behind the manibrum sternum. Okay. Then next is, this is a diagram. You can see here. See, this is the ascending aorta. This is the imaginary line at the level of the sternal angle, which divides into superior mediastinum and inferior mediastinum. This is the proper arch of aorta. Arch of aorta. This is the descending thoracic aorta. Okay. This is the demarcation of particular sternal angle. Sternal angle. Okay. This is the lateral view. How it begins? Course of the aorta, arch of aorta. So it begins as a continuation of the ascending aorta behind the second chondrosternal joint. Second chondrosternal joint. Okay, just back and posterior left in front of the bifurcation of the trachea. As you know, it is one of the event at the level of sternal angle, bifurcation of the trachea. So it finally turns backwards and downwards. See the course of the arch of aorta here. Okay, finally it turns backwards and downwards behind the left bronchus and continuation as a descending aorta. Continues as a descending aorta at the lower border of the T4 vertebra. Lower border of the T4 vertebra. Okay, in this diagram you can assess here. See, this is again same diagram, imaginary line, sternal angle. This is the ascending, this is the arch of aorta, this is the descending thoracic aorta. Okay, this is the again anterior mediastinum, middle mediastinum and posterior mediastinum. Okay, this is the dome of the diaphragm. This is the dome of the diaphragm. Okay, now this is the actually arch of aorta. Arch of aorta. Okay. Yes, this is aorta. So continuation as a descending thoracic aorta here. Okay. make a diagram practice, different views, and proper labeling. It's must. Study of diagram is the main important anatomy. If you understood the diagram, proper labeling, you can understand and write in short time. Okay, all of you try to make a diagram practice with proper labeling using of proper color. Okay. Next diagram is, you know already, this is a cross section at the level of the T4. Yes, superior mediastinum. See, this is the arch of aorta. This is the arch of aorta. This is the superior vena cava. This is the trachea. This is the esophagus. So it is a very important short note. Sternal angle of flow is cross section at level of T4. Difference, but you have to draw this common diagram. Now next is, what are the relations? Aorta. Okay. Anterior and to the left, what are the structure present? Is left pleura and lung, left phrenic nerve, superior cervical cardiac branch and sympathetic trunk, left vagus, left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, these are the important relations, anterior and to the left of the aorta. Left pleura, left phrenic, superior cervical cardiac branch of the sympathetic trunk, left vagus, left recurrent. Okay, these are the relations anteriorly and to the left aorta. Okay, now posterior and to the right. Posterior to the aorta and to the right. What are the structures here? Important is trachea. See, this is the whole thing is trachea. This is aorta. This is particular arch of aorta. So posterior and right. This is the posterior and right. So what are the structures? Important here is the whole thing is here trachea. Okay, trachea with deep cardiac plexus. Then next one is esophagus. See, this is esophagus. Then here left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay. Then thoracic duct and vertebral column. These are the relations of aorta, posterior and to the right. Now, what are the structure present inferiorly to the aorta, arch of aorta? As you know, this one is arch of aorta. So what are the structures you can see in this diagram here? See, left bronchus. Okay, this is the left bronchus. Bifurcation of pulmonary trunk. Okay, this is the bifurcation of the pulmonary trunk. Left recurrent laryngeal nerve. This is the left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay, then superior cardiac plexus. These are the relation inferiorly to the aorta. Now, what are the structures superiorly? As you know, if it is arch, so there will be some branches above the arch of aorta. What are they? They are nothing but brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid artery, left subclavian artery, left brachiocephalic vein. These are the main four structures which are present superior to the aorta, arch of aorta. These are the structures. In next slide, I will show this one. So this is proper arch of aorta. This is ascending. This is descending. So what are the superior relations are there? They are nothing but branches from the arch of aorta. So this is left side. So left subclavian artery, left common carotid artery. Okay. Then brachiocephalic artery. Again, they are subdivided into right common carotid artery and right subclavian artery. Okay. Arch of aorta and their branches. It is a very important short note. Branches of arch of aorta. So right brachiocephalic trunk, left common carotid artery, left subclavian artery, then occasionally thyroida ema. Okay, occasionally. Now, one more diagram is there. Clearly you can see the branches. See, left subclavian, left common. This is the arch of aorta, then brachiocephalic trunk. Okay, this is a common diagram. Okay, how it develops? Just brief. I will tell the from where it develops. In detail, you can see in embryology class. Here, see, dorsal aortic sac is there. It is developed from the aortic sac. Aortic sac. Then again it is from the ductus arteriosus. Ductus arteriosus. Okay. So this is the dorsal aorta. Dorsal aorta. From again right and left recurrent laryngeal nerve here. So you have to remember important is dorsal aorta, ductus arteriosus. Ductus arteriosus. Okay. These diagram, they are nothing but embryology model. We will be kept in university exam during Viva. Remember this. In our anatomy museum, these models are there. You try to visit repeatedly anatomy museum, see the models and identify. This is very, very important. Viva, during Viva, we'll keep this all embryology models. Okay, and this is important short note also. Okay. So this is a dorsal aorta. This is a ductus arteriosus. You should know the development also. Development of the aorta, arch of aorta. With this, you can understand the clinical aspect, applied anatomy of the aorta. What are the anomalies and all, developmental defect. Okay. Now come to the brief. Only two conditions are there here. Applied anatomy related to the aorta. What are they? See, this is nothing but aortic nuchal. See, this one is, it form the nuchal, aortic nuchal. So this is the apex of the heart. This is the base. So these are the major vessels. So here arch of aorta is there. Arch of aorta is there. So there will be a formation of the nuchal. Formation of the nuchal. This is radiological finding. Radiological finding. Okay. Then next condition is narrowing of the aorta. That is called as a correctex of the aorta, where the actually narrowing of the aorta distal to the left subclavian origin. Distal to the left subclavian origin. This is also very, very important conditions. Okay. They are again preductal, postductal and juxtaductal. Okay. This condition is mainly localized narrowing of the aorta. You have to remember this. Localized narrowing of the aorta means the diameter, the position of the aorta diameter will be constricted or narrow compared to the normal diameter. So there will be disturbance in the again collateral circulation, thoracic aorta. So this next diagram you can make out here. Actually the narrowing of the aorta. See this one. Narrowing of the aorta. Correctation of the aorta. Constriction of the aorta distal to the left subclavian artery. Okay. See, there will be constriction here. Site of the correctation. This is descending aorta. This is the arch aorta. This is the ascending aorta. So the exact here, there will be a narrowing. Narrowing of the aorta. So with this, there will be a disturbance in the flow of the blood. Aortic circulation. Here, see the arrow mark. Okay. So one more condition is there. Again here, opposite to the, yes, correctation. Here aneurysm. What do you mean by aneurysm? Dilatation. Dilatation dilatation of the aorta. So localized dilatation of the aorta. So again, due to the different shapes, it is fusiform aneurysm, saccular aneurysm. So this diagram is a normal aorta. See, this is a normal aorta. Then this is some defective aneurysm is there. See, this is how it dilates, distended specific part of the aorta. So this is thoracic aortic aneurysm. Thoracic aortic aneurysm. Okay. You have to make out difference between the coarctation and aneurysm. What is stenosis? What is aneurysm? What is anastomosis? You have to remember this. Small definitions are there. Once again, you try to read general anatomy. Okay. One more condition is there. PDA, patent ductus arteriosus. Ductus arteriosus. Just to remember the name, we'll in detail discuss later. This is a condition related to the, again, due to the defect, anomaly in the aorta, where flow of the blood will be disturbed. Okay. Now we'll go to the next structure. Next structure of, yes, thorax. Important structures. Trachea. Trachea. Okay. So we'll discuss about trachea now. Okay. As you know, pandemic going on, COVID. So which system in involvement here? Mainly, you know, everybody, respiratory system. Okay, respiratory system. Then, which is the respiratory organ? Chief respiratory organ is lung. Okay. So connectivity through the upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract. There will be a connectivity, that is trachea. So it is also called as a windpipe. What do you mean by wind? Wind is nothing but air, oxygen. So trachea is a windpipe, and it is made up of, it is a fibrocartilaginous, non-collapsible tube that creates the beginning of the lower respiratory tract. Beginning of the lower respiratory tract. How it is made up of? C-shaped rings are there, which is made up of hyaline cartilage. Around 16 to 20 C-shaped rings of hyaline cartilage to keep its lumen patent. Lumen patent, to make a pipe, like tunnel pipe. So there will be a made up of, again, smooth muscles. Smooth muscles, that is called as a trachealis, and fibroelastic ligament. Fibroelastic ligament, which bridges the gap between the posterior free ends of the C-shaped cartilage that allow expansion of the esophagus during the passage of the bolus of the food. Understood? Between the C-shaped cartilage and smooth muscle, there will be a gap. Because of these smooth muscles, trachealis muscles and fibroelastic ligament, during the moment of the esophagus, while passing the food bolus to the stomach, whenever we'll take swallowing, engulf the food particle or food bolus, it helps during the moment. Okay. Okay. What is a trachea? It is a nothing but windpipe. Windpipe made up of fibrocartilaginous, and it is non-collapsible tube. Non-collapsible tube. Okay. So it is around, what is the length? It is around 11 centimeter in length. This is very important topic. It is a burning topic now because of whatever we are facing, COVID pandemic. So you should know the anatomy of the respiratory system, anatomy of the thorax. Okay. Everybody is struggling, fighting, even begging for oxygen. But you should know the thorax, trachea. What is tracheobronchial tree? How it works? How it divides? What is the passage? What is the course? Where the exact exchange of gases take place? What are the respiratory unit? Which one is the basic unit of the respiratory system? You should know the detail about the tracheobronchial tree. So for that, you should know the basic anatomy of some important structure which are present in the thorax. That is one of these trachea. Okay. Now, what is measurement? It measures about 11 centimeter in length. Okay. Diameter from side to side from 2 to 2.5 centimeter. 2 to 2.5 centimeter. So it is around 18 to 22 C-shaped cartilaginous rings are there. And it is greater in the male than in the female. Okay. Next diagram, you can assess what is the exact windpipe. See, this is the fibromuscular posterior wall. Whatever the purple color is there, it is a nothing but C-shaped fibrocartilaginous ring. Okay. Then red color one is, it is a mucosa, tracheal mucosa. Okay. Tracheal mucosa. It is a nothing but windpipe. Okay. So exact extent, once again, so trachea stretches from the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. Again, at the level of the lower border of the C6 vertebra. To the lower border of the T4 vertebra. Again, we have to discuss about here sternal angle. Again, trachea also involved. One of the event occur at the level of the sternal angle. So it is from C6 to the lower border of the T4 in supine position. So finally, at the level of the T4, that is angle of Lewis, sternal angle, trachea bifurcates. Bifurcation will be there, dividing into left and right main bronchi. Okay. This diagram you can make out here. See how the bifurcation of the trachea. This is the main structure, trachea. Okay, like this. So this is the level, T4 level. So it is divided into right bronchus, left bronchus. This section showing the exact bifurcation of the trachea at the level of the T4. So exact location again here, upper half of the trachea found in the neck, that is cervical part. Okay, mainly present in the superior mediastinum. Okay, superior mediastinum. You know already measurement around 11 centimeter. Okay, 11 centimeter. Okay. One more important point here is the lumen in smaller in living human than that in the cadaver. Whatever we are doing dissection on cadavers, so there will be a lumen will be large compared to the living human. Okay. Then how it runs now, trachea. How it runs, that is course of the trachea. So as you know, it is a continuation of the larynx. Okay, begins at the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, that is C6 level. Okay, just 5 centimeter above the jugular notch. You know sternum, there will be a center half moon shape jugular notch is there, that is suprasternal notch. Okay, just 5 centimeter above to the jugular notch. Now this trachea enters into the thoracic inlet. There will be a thoracic inlet and thoracic outlet. Okay, thoracic cage. So it enters into the thoracic inlet. There will be a Viva question. What are the structure enter into or through the thoracic inlet? It is one of the trachea. Okay. So it enters the thoracic inlet in the midline and enter downward, backward behind the manubrium. It enters downward, backward behind the manubrium, and it bifurcates or terminate into two principal bronchi. Two principal bronchi at the level of the, again I am repeating, sternal angle T4. T4. Okay, at the level of the sternal angle. Then trachea descends, it recedes rapidly from the surface to follow the curvature of the vertebral column. Vertebral column. You know, so already trachea consists around 16 to 20 hyaline cartilage C shape. Okay. Then the absence of these cartilages on the posterior space enable to expansion. So that's why a difficulty during deglutition, esophagus, because of absence of cartilaginous on the posterior aspect. Posterior aspect. Okay. Again, cervical part in the neck. Lower half mediastinal part, that is thoracic part. Okay. So the whole course of the trachea lies directly in the front of the esophagus. Front of the esophagus. Along with the whole course of the trachea, the front or anterior is the esophagus. Along with the one more structure is left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Left recurrent laryngeal nerve. Okay. Now, what is the anatomical position? Whenever you examine the patient, whenever you examine the patient in some respiratory conditions, chest physician, and during examination also, you have to give the position, anatomical position of the trachea, where the exact trachea will be there. So it will, sorry, it will be marked. So trachea marks the beginning of the tracheobronchial tree. So it arises at the lower border of the cricoid cartilage. Okay, continuation from the from the larynx. So it travels inferior into the superior mediastinum, bifurcating at the level of the sternal angle. Sternal angle. So at it descends, the trachea is located anterior to the esophagus. If it is anterior to the esophagus, it inclines slightly to the right. It inclines slightly to the right. That is anatomical position. Okay. Now cervical part of the trachea, around 7 centimeter, just 5 centimeter above the jugular notch. Again, it runs downwards in front of the esophagus. In front of the esophagus. Then along with there will be some small deviation. I told anatomical position on the right side. On the right side. Okay. Then what is the nerve supply? What is the nerve supply of trachea? Trachea. Okay. Okay. So both sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers. Sympathetic and parasympathetic fibers. So parasympathetic fibers originating from the vagus nerve through the recurrent laryngeal nerve. Recurrent laryngeal nerve. So these are the secretomotor and sensory to the mucous membrane and motor to the muscle, that is trachealis muscle. Okay. Now the sympathetic fibers are originated from the middle cervical sympathetic ganglia. Middle cervical sympathetic ganglia. They are vasomotor in nature. Vasomotor in nature. Okay. Then what is the structure? What is the structure now? So you know already cartilaginous bars are there, hyaline cartilage, where there will be a maintenance of the patency of the trachea. Then this, due to the presence of trachealis muscles, connects the posterior free ends of the cartilage and connected because of this muscle. Supports the posterior free ends. Posterior free ends. As you know, Histology. So mucous membrane of the trachea is lined by the pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelium and contains some goblet cells and some tubular mucous gland. Now, in brief, we'll discuss about the relations of the trachea in particular part. Okay, related to the neck, the trachea anteriorly it is related to the, as you know, skin, fascia, part of the thyroid gland, that is isthmus, then inferior thyroid vein, jugular arch, thyroidema artery, if it is present occasionally, and brachiocephalic vein. Posteriorly by the right and left recurrent laryngeal nerve and the esophagus. Posteriorly, right and left recurrent laryngeal nerve and esophagus. Okay. You know, it is on the either side laterally lobes of the, if anteriorly isthmus of the thyroid, so on the either side laterally lobes of the thyroid gland and the carotid sheath with its content. These are the relation of the trachea in the neck. Now next region, thorax. Relation of the trachea in thorax. As you know, anteriorly by the bony part, sternum, then lymphoid organ, thymus, left brachiocephalic vein, okay, then left common carotid arteries and the arch of aorta. These are the structures anteriorly related to the trachea, thoracic part of the trachea. Posteriorly again here same thing, esophagus, left recurrent laryngeal nerve, and on the right side, you know, already yesterday we discussed azygos vein, right side unpaired. So right side azygos vein, right vagus nerve and the pleura. Then we discuss about the aorta. Okay, so it is left side is arch of aorta, left common carotid, left subclavian, left vagus and left phrenic nerves. Now come to the blood supply. Okay, blood supply to the trachea is upper 2/3 supplied by the inferior thyroid arteries and lower third is supplied by the bronchial arteries. Upper 1/3 inferior thyroid arteries, lower 1/3 by the bronchial arteries. Now, what is the lymphatic drainage? Pretracheal and paratracheal lymph nodes. And the deep cervical lymph nodes. Then what is the nerve supply? Sensory nerve supply from the vagus, that is recurrent laryngeal nerve, and sympathetic nerve for the trachealis muscle, that is vasomotor. Okay. Now finally the trachea bifurcates, divided into two principal bronchi, you know already, at the level of the sternal angle. Okay, then each respiratory bronchiole divided into again alveolar ducts, alveolar sac, finally alveoli, where the exchange of gases takes place. You know, respiratory tree, that is bronchial tree, tracheobronchial tree, where the fundamental functional unit is alveoli, alveolar sac, duct and alveoli, where the exchange of gases take place. You should know this all anatomical position, anatomy of the respiratory system. So being a medico, you should know the lung, bronchial tree, tracheobronchial tree, trachea, and what is the details, course of the bronchial tree, how it divides. Because during this pandemic, anyone can, your friend, your neighbor, your relative may ask about the lung and lungs function, trachea, alveoli. What is going on? What is the pathology? How it physiological changes? You should know the basic. You try to read about the lungs and trachea in detail. Okay, and this is very, very important long question. Bronchopulmonary segments, trachea. Then as per the physiology is concerned, alveoli, exchange of gases, everything you have to read. Okay. See this bifurcation. Yes. Right bronchus, left bronchus at the level of the T4 ear. This is the bifurcation. Okay. So this again main bronchi divided into secondary, tertiary, then again tertiary bronchi, ducts, alveolar ducts, sac, alveoli. You should know these all basic things. Now finally we'll come to the applied anatomy. Applied anatomy related to the trachea. Okay. Okay. So one more important here is trachea. There will be some anomalies, some developmental defect that is different, and due to the lower respiratory tract infection and all, involvement is there. Now important here is stomy. Stomy means to make a opening. Okay, the condition called as a tracheostomy. Tracheostomy. It is an opening in the anterior wall of the trachea. Will make an opening for what? To give the airway treatment, life support, airway. So anterior wall of the trachea will make a hole that is converted into stoma. Stoma, that is opening on the skin surface. Okay. So tracheostomy is the one of the important condition. You should know name of the condition, that is tracheostomy. In case of emergency, whenever there will be a difficulty in the breathing, airway problem, we in emergency cases we will try to give the relief to the patient by doing tracheostomy. Okay. Then one more condition is there. Bronchoscopy. Scopy means to visualize. Okay, to visualize. So there will be a endoscopic visualization of the tracheobronchial tree. In case of any pathology, any other conditions, respiratory conditions, if one more condition, that is foreign body, to remove the foreign body and all. So this is an investigation, special investigation, that is bronchoscopy. Bronchoscopy to visualize the tracheobronchial tree. Tracheobronchial tree. One more condition is there, bronchogram. Bronchogram. To know the detailed study of the tracheobronchial tree. Tracheobronchial tree. Then one more condition is there. In case of special under the special investigations. Okay. Now only you remember just only tracheostomy and bronchoscopy. Tracheostomy and bronchoscopy and some congenital anomalies. Okay, congenital anomalies. Okay, thank you. Any doubt? Any queries? You understood? Briefly, I taken all three structures one by one. Yesterday's class and today's class, total 6 structures related to the thorax. All 6 structures are very important. As a short note, make a short note, diagram practice, proper label it, and prepare for the your coming exams. These are the very important short notes. Important short notes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.